Okay, let's go! Hello friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/LegbeardStories. You know I couldn't forget about them ladybeards. Let me tell you what, I do quite realize that we're about due for a crackhead Craigslist, but, you know, I gotta keep them numbers up, you know, keep up with the analytics and whatnot. That's just the game that we're playing here with this full-time YouTube stuff. Speaking of full-time YouTube, speaking of residual income, I've now got an Amazon affiliate link in my description that goes to my microphone. If you click that and buy basically anything off of Amazon, then I get a little bit of the proceeds, which is super helpful. I need to make 3 sales in the next 180 days, so we'll see how it goes, I suppose. But if you want to help out, do let me know. I will surely pay you back in any way I can, and hopefully you can pick up something that you legitimately need, you know? Helps us both out. Anyways, enough with the shameless plugging. Oh wait, no, we've got a little more shameless plugging to do. With the splash screen with the plugs and disclaimers. But after that, I promise, I swear, we will be into this Legbeard cringe. Here we go. Legbeard asks me to draw some inappropriate drawings. Draw some inappropriate drawings. Feels redundant. I guess we'll see how it goes. Hello again. So I was talking with a friend about what we did in middle school, since we both went to different middle schools, and she mentioned something about some otaku guy that basically snapped a memory in my head, which I had somehow managed to suppress. Also, apologies for any formatting or grammatical errors. I am on mobile. Okay, let's go! I've mentioned this earlier in another post, but to reiterate, I draw almost all the time, especially back in middle school. I didn't socialize that much, and showing my drawings to people was a really effective icebreaker to talk to new people. Not sure if it worked for anyone else, but that is what I did. I spent practically most of my free time in classes just drawing, and I filled up tons of sketchbooks. Back in 8th grade, my family had to move out of state. This happened around the time we had a week off for Thanksgiving, so it was somewhat easy in some parts and not so easy in others. So this practically means that I had to go to a brand new school right in the middle of the year. Better make friends quick. Now, if this happened when I was in the 6th or 7th grade, I might have had a nervous breakdown. But in the 8th grade, I started to have more confidence in myself, as well as meet more people so I could just generally be better at socializing. I saw this as a new opportunity to see the world, even if it was just part of our state. That counts as part of the world, doesn't it? So we moved. It takes a week to get settled, and after the following days, I get registered to a brand new middle school. It wasn't as bad as I expected. Many people were very kind. I made a few friends, and this one girl offered to show me around the school during lunch. I'm friends with this girl to this day. We'll call her Kitty. She comes in later in this story. So anyways, it's the same old school stuff, goofing around, talking with friends, and of course, drawing a shit ton. I think I filled 2 drawing notebooks in the first 2 months that I was there. I saw a lot of the same people in about half my classes, and so people like to watch me draw. It's nothing bad, I mean, I'm used to it. It's usually people talking to their other friends, and they'll just keep giving glances at my drawing and ask to look at it. Sometimes I even ask my classmates what I should draw, since I run out of ideas pretty quickly. This is where our Legbeard comes in. For simplicity, I'll call her Fujo. Short for Fujoshi. All we learned about Fujoshis, that's on my Facebook. It's a video that I didn't upload to YouTube. But for those that didn't see that Facebook video, Fujoshi are basically literally translated as rotten women. They enjoy boy love and yaoi comics, but they kind of dehumanize the gay community. They're like, ooh, woo, my little dirty babies, and stuff like that. It's really weird. And definitely something that OP should have watched out for. But I assume he didn't know that she was a Fujoshi at the time. Oh, and then he goes on to explain, so I'll just shut up now. I'll explain. A Fujoshi is a term given to girls that are 1. Otaku, and 2. Really enjoy yaoi, or gay erotic manga or anime. It's like intense anime fangirls that like shipping two dudes. Well, that's a brief outline, but I like my definition better. Because yeah, objectification in the gay community is the real problem that most people have with fujoshis. P.S. Just because a girl says she's an otaku does not mean that she's automatically a fujoshi. Fujo was a few months older than me. She was sassy, but often it seemed that she was just really rude. She was a bit overweight, if I recall. Not too much, but noticeable. She also wore hoodies that had the name of an anime on it, or just really baggy hoodies in general. She was about 2 inches shorter than me, which, to be fair, I'm kind of short for a guy, only being 5'7" at the time I'm writing this, and she often told lies to her friends. Nothing too serious, but it certainly got annoying. So, as I mentioned before, I would sometimes ask for drawing requests whenever. During lunch, she asked if I could draw an anime character, and I accepted it. It took me a bit to finish it, since I'm not that great in drawing that anime style. Side note, I'm pretty sure all artists now have gone through an anime art style phase at some point. Hell yeah, anime's a cool style. Can't deny that. Anyways, she says, "Thanks!" and goes on with her day. About 2 days later, she asked if I could draw her something else. I say, sure, and she pulls out her phone and shows me a screenshot of two anime guys who are really close to each other, like almost on top of each other. I look at it for a moment and then proceeded to draw it. It made me a bit uncomfortable, so I practically tried to draw it as fast as I possibly could. She says, "Thanks!" again, and I don't see her for a bit. A month later, I'm in the library. I'm going through some books since I was really bored. It was me and a few other people since it was during lunch. I decided to leave, so I walked back to the desk where I left my stuff, and I see Fujo walking in. She seems surprised to see me. She walks over and asks for another drawing. I accept, stop accepting. The last one made you uncomfortable, stop accepting. But still, OP accepted and asked, what of? And I kid you not, this is how the conversation went. Fujo, "Do you know what hentai is?" OP, what? Fujo, "Hentai! You know, it's more mature anime." OP, I've only got into anime, so no, sorry. Fujo, "Oh, really? That sucks. Well, you have to know, or maybe at least heard of yaoi, right?" OP, "Yeah, I have, unfortunately." Fujo, "Well, can you draw me something like that, but with these two characters that I really like?" She shows me two more anime guys, then goes into detail about what kind of things she wants them to be doing. It was something like them almost being completely naked while eating some Pocky. Oh, God. I don't know why Pocky gets me the most out of that whole thing. It's just so random. I tell her I'm not exactly comfortable drawing stuff like that. Also, I believe this was when I started having thoughts about my sexuality. Since before moving, my parents found out that I was watching clips of gay movies and shows, some of them having lewd scenes. No, it wasn't technically porn. I got in trouble mostly because of what I was watching. However, I believed that I had got in trouble because it was something gay, so I was afraid of what would happen if I was drawing something gay. She tells me that it's nothing to worry about, and that it might be a good experience for me. I ask her how, and her excuse was that real artists draw naked people all the time. They don't draw anything else, just naked people all the time. Not wanting to continue arguing, I decide to start drawing the basic lines in the library as she somewhat watches me, but is mostly just on her phone. We were at one of the tables that was in the library, and once I started adding details, I slowed down my progress. Eventually, I just put my pencil away. "What's wrong?" she asked. I told her that this drawing was making me uncomfortable, and that I'm not going to finish the drawing. She stares at the incomplete drawing, says that she'll take the drawing regardless of if it was finished or not, and stuffed it in her bag. But the tone of her voice was off-putting. She walks out, and I do as well, and I don't see her for about a week and a half, mostly in the one class that we share. Eventually, she comes to me again asking me to draw that kind of stuff. I tell her no, but she continues to bother me about it even after I clearly told her about how it made me uncomfortable. She keeps bothering me for about a month. Man, this is why school's so rough. You're like trapped with these people. Ah, dang. Eventually, she started spreading rumors about me, as Legbeards are wont to do. She's been telling people that,
for a lot of drawings I made, I was either tracing them or stole them from another artist at school.
Now, I got pissed. Fortunately, a lot of people didn't believe her since I literally draw in front of other people. So I call her out about it during lunch while she was eating outside. I'd taken enough bullshit from my other schools, and I wasn't gonna let this incident affect me. So I pulled her aside and told her to cut her shit. We began arguing, and some of her friends come towards us to see what all the fuss is about. I tell them my side of the story, and I see the gears turning in their heads. Apparently, Fujo said that I was drawing yaoi for my own pleasure, and just happened to give one uncompleted drawing to her. Since Fujo lied a lot, and some stuff she said didn't add up, they believed me. She even had the drawing that I made in her binder from what they told me, so I avoided her for the rest of 8th grade. My family moved again, but to the other side of town, so we attended different high schools. My friend that I mentioned before, Kitty, actually went to the same high school as Fujo. She transferred to my high school about 2 months into sophomore year. From what she told me, Fujo acted pretty much the same for most of freshman year, but ended up getting in some serious trouble with her parents. I won't say for what, but don't worry, it ain't too bad, I guess. She got in trouble, and Kitty told me that she started acting differently. It took time, but she started changing who she was, and she made a lot of progress on becoming a better person. She still likes yaoi, but at least she is taking some better steps. And honestly, I respect her for that. Well, to an extent. But it's hard to change that way, so I will give her that. Apologies for the length. Well, it's not the worst Fujoshi that we've ever seen, but automatically I'm a little bit wary around people like that. She just refused to take no for an answer. She's not even commissioning the dude. She's just like, draw this for me for free. Who are you? I owe you nothing. I said it made me uncomfortable. Now, fuck off. For months, bro, I would have blown up probably after a week. Just been like, I'm gonna smash your face with a brick. But I am proud of OP for standing up for himself, you know. It's not an easy thing to do, but I guarantee that's the reason that this didn't go any farther than it did. As for Fujo, well, I'm glad that she's making progress towards becoming a better person. The truth is, none of us are our best selves in high school. We have to learn and temper ourselves and sign the social contract in some sort of way, which it seems like she is doing, so I have to applaud her for that. Like I say, beards are not all lost causes. You know, whether you're a Legbeard or a Neckbeard, we all kind of went through that point in our life, and I think that's why we find it so interesting to sit down and watch videos about them. This is something that all of us either have been or we're very close to being, so I'm glad to hear that this one came out with a good ending, and I hope Fujo continues her progress into becoming a normal and productive member of society. Anyways, let's get into 2 stories now. They're part of the same saga, so we can make this Legbeard story nice and beefy, as it deserves to be. So let's jump right into it. The Legbeard Queen of IMVU, which is, from what I can tell, some sort of online chat room, sort of like Second Life. And there is quite a lot of cringe to be had in Second Life. Maybe we'll dive into that someday. Do a little deep dive. But for right now, we'll just read this Legbeard story and kind of dip our toes in and see how it goes. So, to be fair, at that time, when I first met her, I had no idea what a Legbeard was, and the concept wasn't even really made popular yet, so I'm talking years ago. It's only recently that I've made the connection that she was a genuine Legbeard with all the boxes pretty much checked. Knowing that made the whole view that I had of those years knowing her so much worse. I already posted a Neckbeard story to this subreddit a while back, and I got a humongous amount of support from it, so thank you all again for that. I'm sure we will cover that at a later date. I mentioned in that story that I had never before encountered a Neckbeard. That, however, did not include this lady that I'm about to speak of. But first, some background story and some roll calling. My name will be Trans, as in my previous story, since it worked out pretty well, and it was easily explainable since I'm a transgender female to male. Online, it was a lot easier to partake in the role of a male, and nobody would question me. It was my one escape, without being afraid of confrontation with my parents. I was 16 at the time. Then we had Big Sis, a nice girl on IMVU that immediately took a liking to me in friendship sort of ways, and she asked her roleplay IMVU mother if I could become part of the family. Segue in the IMVU mother and all-around Legbeard queen of IMVU. I have to be more obscure about her name, since I'm fairly sure she has sons or daughters that scout Reddit from time to time, and obvious nicknames would definitely create quite a shitstorm for me. Or it could make others hunt her down because of this, which I don't want to stand for at all. Witch hunting is not my agenda here. Feel that, OP. That's why I got that disclaimer at the beginning, okay? Everybody deserves second chances, in most cases. I guess we'll have to pass our judgment on this online mother. Let's call her Miss Obley, since she was extremely oblivious to her own manipulative ways. So yeah, we'll go with that. And let's get this story going now. As stated, I was 16 when all this happened, and I had finally started to learn that I was more comfortable being a male online than I was being a female. I didn't know that it was called being transgender, and never made it apparent that I was actually a female online. Call it catfishing. I completely understand if you see it like that, but it was my way of escape. Cue in IMVU, a chat simulator where I could have the avatar I wanted, could look how I wanted, and act how I wanted people to perceive me. I felt like I was much closer with being okay with myself back then, but then came the IMVU family experience. This is already a lot of cringe for me to handle. Oh, I think it's great that OP could be who they want online, but making up a fake family, like, I don't get it. But Second Life is popular. I mean, you can't argue with success. Anyways, it wasn't all that bad per se. It had good moments, and a lot of the family I was in respected and liked me. Simply because I had no filter and spoke my mind about what I thought was wrong or incorrect. Then in came Miss Obley. I've seen her on cam a couple of times, since it was routine for them to ask that of their family members. What the fuck? On Skype, they could have the most contact with you, and they did expect you to be online every day. All of your free time, so you could spend it with your, as she stated,
real family.
What? That should have already picked up some huge red flags for me. But since I didn't have many friends at the time, I really had no other hobby to keep me occupied. So I was mostly online, talking and causing the least amount of trouble for them. I was perfect. But I was perfect. Nobody's perfect. I don't even know what kind of trouble you could possibly get in, like not logging in every day. Eat my ass, bro. I don't like this game that much, this chat room simulator. But back to the topic at hand. Miss Obley checks all of the boxes that I have read a Legbeard to possess. She was seriously overweight to the point where she couldn't even walk a couple of feet, or she'd get extremely winded and had to sit down. She had greasy brown, shoulder-length hair, a fat nose, pimples everywhere due to a poor diet, and most likely hardly showered or took a bath, since someone that size can probably not fit in a bath or shower, in my opinion. Go ahead and ask President Taft about that. Ooh, that's a deep cut. She cried constantly when things didn't go her way, and often blamed it on people themselves instead of validating that she might actually have a problem and doing something about it. She coerced people to do what she wanted by either acting like a small child or guilt-tripping you. God, have I known some people like this. Cut them out. Her oblivious nature kicked in on those topics a lot, and also on the person that she kept dating. The father figures she brought in were all liars. Most of the family knew this and were pretty much aware of her blind attitude towards this person. She wanted her
prince to sweep her off her feet and just take her away to a magic castle where she doesn't have to do anything all day but sit online and eat junk and do nothing.
Secretly, that's what we all want, but life doesn't work that way. These men were absolute scumbags, and she never knew exactly how badly they really treated her and her family. And if she knew, she just simply didn't care. They got angry at us when we weren't around enough. Angry when we hung around other families. And most of all, they got angry when we didn't see them as true parents and had comments about how they did things. They would guilt trip us so hard that we would feel absolutely horrible about ourselves. And they told us that we needed them more than we do. Most of the family of kids she had were below my age. I was one of the oldest ones. One of them even recently sought contact with me again. She'd been explaining to me how the behavior from back then had made her extremely depressed and gave her some extreme self-doubt. She couldn't see herself as a person properly on some days, and that made me really sad. I once had enough, and I told them that they had to either fix it, break up, or I would be leaving the family, which caused Miss Obley to pipe up and start crying.
Now I'm crying. Look what you did. Do you really want this? Is this what you were after?
And
my poor heart can't take this. Why do you do all this? And why can't you let me be happy? Fine, just leave then.
Okay, I will. Her husband wasn't all that better, taking this as an insult to his authority, and started making threats towards me and my fellow kin, causing an even worse uproar of defiance from us.
Your accounts will be hacked. I'll send a word to my friend, and he'll hack all of you. I don't ever want you to come back, you hear me? I'd rather die than allow you back into our perfect home.
Oh, God, it's so cringy, dude. Kids, be careful. Dad is elite hacksaw. Meanwhile, Miss Obley just kept crying and crying, or at least she typed that she was crying, which is dubious at best when you really think about it. They were both extremely stubborn and wouldn't even hear us out that we didn't want to leave, we just wanted to make things better, and that leaving was the ultimatum that I was willing to make if things weren't taken seriously, because I wanted nothing to do with a poisonous, fake online family. Well, she and her husband just kicked me out, which bit her in the ass at the end because most of the family, especially the kids, liked me, so they left alongside me. I have a feeling she never truly forgave me for that. If you've dealt with someone like this, please talk to me. People like this can truly mess you up, and if you've had a similar encounter on Second Life or IMVU, don't hesitate to come forward. I might add some other happenings later on if this actually helps people to detect someone vile and manipulative like this. The stories get quite bizarre after my first encounter because this is not the last that I ever saw of Obley, but that's maybe for another day. No, not another day. It's for today. We're gonna jump right into it. No hesitation. I need some more of this. The Legbeard Queen of IMVU, Part 2. Behind that leg. What? Small roll call to refresh some memories. I'm trans. My IMVU sister is Big Sis. The queen herself, called Miss Obley, and her newest husband, which, surprise, surprise, was a definitive neckbeard himself. We'll call him Family Beard, since that was all he talked about, and seemed to revere it to an almost perfect standpoint. If you weren't fitting, or you just seemed out of place, he'd try to kick you out, or try to reform you with his magical powers. What? And thoughts on today's society. Trying to always poke around and blast holes into your opinions with supreme logic. He's so euphoric. He never tried it with me because I was rather smart, and most of the other kids had my back. I think he saw me as a genuine threat, and therefore didn't challenge what he knew he couldn't win. Weeby was my other, smaller IMVU sister, and she was the poor thing that had most of the burn from the years of being pushed down by these two. I also had a brother who will be named Dragon, since he's a huge fan of DBZ and everything surrounding it. After the first family drama incident, I kept away from most families on IMVU, since I didn't want to deal with anything like that anymore, and I wanted to just focus more on friendships, some that I still have to this day. So to be fair, IMVU wasn't as much of a cesspool as people always claim it to be. It had its good perks. Deep, deep within. Try logging on it nowadays, bro. That is some ultimate cringe. Lo and behold, Oblee once again reached out to me once I was 19, which surprised me because I was sure that I had blocked her the moment that I left, and this was a genuine shock for me to see her. Creepy, actually, since she had found my Facebook and added me on there, sending me messages about
how she was wronged and she should have listened to me. How the man she first had been with wasn't her prince at all and didn't treat her with the respect that she deserved.
Respect yourself first. It felt a bit convoluted, but I just hoped that she had learned from this experience and had grown smarter because of it. Joke's on me. I learned now that these people rarely do. From the first moment that I got back to her, unblocked her, and got into a room where most of her
new family
now was in, she immediately introduced me to her newest husband. I cringed. And we cringed right along with you, Oblee.
Hello, trans. I missed you so much. I'm so glad you're back, and now our family's complete again. I wanted to introduce you to my new husband, Family Beard.
OP? Oh, hi, Family Beard.
I heard from Oblee that you have Asperger's. Is that true?
OP? Yeah. To be fair, this made me more than slightly uncomfortable since I don't like bringing it up. I always feel like when I do, it's like I'm giving an excuse for acting the way that I do or not getting social cues as much as other people. So I always tried to keep it moderately obscure for that same reason. Him bringing that up meant that Oblee probably spilled most of the things that I told her in confidence, which in turn made me kinda angry. But what Family Beard said after that made me want to nope right the fuck out of there immediately. Family Beard.
You know that's all bullshit, right? Everyone is just shoving you in boxes like they shoved my dear Lady Oblee in a box for being the way she is. You're now part of this family, so you should act like the upstanding person you are. Everyone else is just beneath you.
Oh yeah, we're the kings of IMVU, son. Oh god, some good cringe. I kid you not, I could not make this up if I tried. Such cringe, obviously, now makes me think of a Tumblr SJW who proclaims,
everyone born male, white, and privileged is just trash.
Little background note, he was apparently pansexual, Filipino, and
an absolute hunk,
according to Oblee. Let's just say Skype cam doesn't lie, and that absolute hunk was indeed a big hunk of body mass. But she was all over him, trying to get everyone to see her point of view, and each day it was the same routine.
He's such a good father. I'm sure we'll have so many babies, and he'll treat them so much better than all those other parents out there. You should all come to live with us once he gets here. Big Sis and Weeby will have to wait, though, because we don't have enough room yet.
Which was just a way for her to show that she was actually just being kinda jealous. Family Beard was acting according to his namesake, as he had made multiple advances onto my IMVU sisters at times, and it was absolutely disgusting. Oh no, the cringe deepens. We liked the family setting and being there for one another, but this was absolutely revolting how we would make advances and then blast away their self-esteem if they didn't go in on it. He did this with many others, and I only know this because they told me and showed me screenshots of the conversations. He never dared to do this when Obley or I were around. It went from,
"You have such a nice body. I'm sure you got that from your mother. Oh, what I wouldn't give to watch you dance for me."
God. That's so almost too much. Oh, my body, I can't. And
"Obley never talks to me like you do. Maybe one day we could have a deeper connection. Oh, I could always look into my stones to see your future. I bet it's bright with me."
Look into your stones? What? And this is also the first case of a Filipino neckbeard that I've heard of, so breaking stuff here. This is new ground. Of course, Obley wasn't that oblivious and had walked in on him a couple of times, but instead of working that out on him and giving the proper reaction, she worked it out on my sisters, belittling them and threatening to
Not even go near him in that way.
It caused a lot of self-esteem to be broken down, and in the end, I didn't even recognize them anymore since they became afraid of everything. Later on, Big Sis just disappeared from IMVU altogether, and it was the worst. Of course, this ended in another big dose of drama once I realized what was going on, and to try and divert all of it that was coming back onto me, I went to Dragon, since he was always there, and had a more mellow attitude towards everyone, and he was actually pretty caring and smart. He unfortunately went to the one person who wouldn't believe us, Obley. Well, she was absolutely distraught, crying about how
Her children just never truly loved her.
pointing how we always wrecked her relationships and how we probably did it because she was fat and a woman. Making no sense in that matter at all, since it was Family Beard that had been lying all along. She preached her rights and how our words were against those rights, causing a whole drama that just didn't really fit, making me even more confused. When I tried mediating, she dropped a bomb that would cause me to leave for reals this time.
You should just stay out of this. You aren't even a real man. You are no son of mine.
She should not have said that. Again, causing me to leave and take about half the family with me as I went. I hadn't heard from her for a good few years, making life better for me, and life experiences came and went. And when I was just about 25, I got a message from one of my friends who had my old Facebook. Yes, I changed it because I wanted nothing to link me anymore to my past for reasons that I might mention later on. She messaged me there saying that there was a certain person called Obley messaging her about me. Things got a lot more distressing after that. But unfortunately, this is the last that we heard of this story. Dang it! What a cliffhanger! I'm actually surprised how invested I got with these neckbeards, like, making each other's lives hell online. This is supposed to be fun? People do this every day for fun? God, it sounds like a living hell. I hate it. But it did provide some quality cringe. I hope that OP will come back and finish the story one of these days. And if they do, then I'll be sure to let you guys know. Keep up on it. I got so many bookmarks going now, but this is yet another one of them, and I'm sure some subscribers out there will be able to help me out. I usually don't get into online drama. Like, I find most online stories pretty boring. They're like, this drama happened in my Discord server, and I'm like, ugh. Who cares? But this, I don't know. It got me. It hits different for some reason. I guess because it's a big fake family that just like thrives on drama and terrorizing each other and incest. And it's just so deep, dude. Oh, God. What a rabbit hole I've gone down. Maybe I will have to do that Second Life video that I was talking about. This has the potential for some quality cringe. We might expand from tabletop gaming into, what do you even call these fucking things? Like virtual online chat rooms or something like that? Oh, it's wild. I never got into it. I was big into World of Warcraft and guild drama and shit like that, but They don't require me to log in every day or sit on Skype with them. God, I couldn't stand that. Never in life. I'm sure you guys feel me on that, don't ya? Let me know in the comments if you did enjoy the episode. I hope that you will like, comment, and or subscribe. Perhaps even share it around. Do you know somebody that plays IMVU or Second Life? Or perhaps just want to expose them to a massive amount of cringe that can be derived from it? Drop it on your Twitter. Drop it on your Facebook. Let's do this thing. Get that channel growing, boy. I also hope that you'll check out the links in the description. There's some stuff that wasn't on the splash page. We got a whole bunch of stuff down there now. My wife's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX, she just posted a new vlog, by the way. We've got my personal subreddit, r/ReddX Reads. We got the Teespring if you're trying to rock that merch. The Amazon affiliate link that I plugged at the beginning of the video. I would really appreciate your help with that. And, oh, how could I almost fake forget about my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. You are seeing some names on the screen right now, and I would like to thank all of them, as always. But especially ZeroMMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waits, Pope Squid, Rebecca H, Cider Drinker, Tato Ferret, The Last Shinobi, Mark 211, Michael Undead, Aaron W, Mitch, John Hero, Josh K, Candy Sora, Digen Z, Fire Drake, Little Lone Wolf, Lone Island, Shara, Marvin and Moth, Miss Monday, Silent Revolver, JM Coon, Leon Embers, and TSM Kirby. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We managed to not get demonetized on our last Praying Mantis video with my overuse of Mario sound effects, but it's only a matter of time until it happens again, and I am super grateful to be able to lean back on my patrons and not sweat it too hard. Obviously, if anybody else can support, that is absolutely massive to me. Thank you so much in advance. But if you can't right now, then don't sweat it too hard, guys. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow, because really the views is how my beard is buttered. In order to do so, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands. Do not underestimate how important it is to wash your hands all the time. But also take some time out, you know, de-stress and do something that you enjoy today. Maybe watching another ReddX video. I got like over 100 of these things now. And I need your help to watch them all. But anyways, friends, always remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye-bye.